All right, the East is a little bit simpler for me, especially because there's two series in the East that I think are, pretty much could be sweeps. But like I said, I don't like doing 4-0s. Cavs and the Heat, again, I didn't even really want the Heat in here. The Heat won 37 games, but they played hard and they rallied. And after the Jimmy, and so that's cool, like after the Jimmy stuff. But I don't think the Heat are very, very talented. I think that the Cavs, last year, they were the 4 and they beat Orlando in 7. And now they're the 1. I don't like super skinny bigs or super small guards. They have 2 of both. But I do like Evan Mobley a lot. And I just don't think that Miami really has enough firepower offensively to really like pose a true threat to Cleveland. Now, Cleveland strikes me as the team who could mess around and go 7 with this Miami Heat team. But if this was a Jimmy Butler-led Miami Heat team, I'd feel a lot different, right? This Miami Heat team, I feel like, they play hard, whatever. But I don't feel like there's anything about them that makes them a true threat. So I'll take the Cavs in 5. I think the Heat aren't getting swept. Like I said, it's hard. In the NBA, it's hard to sweep teams in general. And the Heat got too much pride. They're not going to get down 2-0 and say, look, we can just go, they live in South Beach. There's not like, oh, let's go to Cancun. Let's go. They understand, like they aren't necessarily rushing to get on vacation because they live in Miami. But give me the Cavs in 5. And it wouldn't surprise me if it goes 6 because I think the Cavs are the type of team to just like lose one that they should have won. But give me the Cavs in 5. And then Celtics Magic. I'm really disappointed in this Magic season, but it's not their fault. Paolo got hurt. Franz got hurt. Jalen Suggs is hurt. Like, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. Still was like, I think they were 42-40. They were the 5 seed last year. They are a really good defensive team. They just cannot score. But I love the Magic. I'm rooting for the Magic. But I don't think they have enough. I don't know what's up with Jaylen Brown's knee. I don't think it's anything that should cause concern or worry. I think that Boston's probably going to have 2 games this series where they do that Boston thing where they just can't miss and they just get super, super hot, in which those will be blowouts because Orlando just can't score. I think that Orlando is the type of team who benefits greatly from the fact that the playoffs allow you to be more physical. Orlando and Detroit are the 2 teams that, like, oh, it's playoffs. We actually have a better advantage on most of the field because they're teams that are hard to play in the regular season, where you see them on the 3rd game in 4 nights or the second of a back-to-back or second game in 3 nights kind of thing. And now they're playing this physical. You feel like they're fouling a lot. Like, it's hard to get up for them, but it's even better in the playoffs because they get away with even more stuff. They get away with holding you an extra second, grabbing you a little bit more, nudging you a little bit more in your layup attempts. Like, they get away with all that stuff. I think that the playoff atmosphere bodes well for teams like Orlando and teams like Detroit, but I don't think Orlando has enough scoring. I do think they actually match up pretty well with Boston, right? If you're talking about Jason Tatum and Paolo, you're talking about Franz Wagner and Jaylen Brown, who Franz is better than Brown this year, but he's not like the same two-way, defensive, the defensive prowess that Jaylen Brown has. So that's why he's kind of a poor man's to an extent, Jaylen Brown. And then you've got, Jonathan Isaac, who comes off the bench, but he's super long. You have Wendell Carter, who's super long. And you have your defensive guards. Jalen Suggs obviously is hurt. But you've got, so Jalen Suggs is kind of your poor man's Drew Holiday. They're built very similar. And then you've got your Anthony Black and your Cole Anthony, which are your Sam Hauser and your Peyton Pritchard off the bench. So they're actually built very similar. I just think that Orlando is just not. They are just and then you got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who's your kind of your Derek White. I mean, they're built very, very similar. But every single one of those comparisons, Boston has the better one. And so, therefore, it's like, okay, got it. But I think Orlando's going to get 1. I think that the Magic fans are going to be super hyped to see them in the playoffs. And Boston's the type, again, to kind of let one go because they're just like, I don't know if Jaylen Brown really needs to be playing with his knee stuff. I don't know what's going on with that. But if he can sit, I'd sit him. If I get up 2-0, I'd probably sit him, especially if he's feeling any discomfort. If I get up 3-0, I'm definitely sitting him if he's feeling discomfort. But if you're feeling great, I mean, I guess, let him stay loose or whatever. But give me Boston in 5. The Knicks and the Pistons. I have Knicks in 6 here, but I really like the Pistons. I like Cade. I have him in my NBA first team, all NBA first team. I love Cade, and I love that he's been healthy, and I love what he's leading the charge over there. I think that the Pistons, very similarly to Orlando, I don't know if they can score enough, but I don't think that any of the things that make the Knicks as good as they are things that they can just exploit against Detroit. I don't think Cat's going to have a tough time against Detroit. He's not going to like playing them. Brunson does what Brunson does. I think it's going to be very similar to that Warriors-Rockets where the last 3 minutes kind of thing. I'm trusting Brunson and Mikal Bridges and, the Villanova guys, the Josh Harts, who's going to play, of course, out of his mind. We know he is. Over the first-time young Pistons team who's gritty and, just happy to be there. But also, we play hard, right? But do we execute well? Playing hard and executing well. Playing hard wins you a lot of games in the regular season. Executing well is what wins you playoff series and playoff games. So I'm going to trust the coaching a little bit. Tibbs, who's been there, and I love what Bickerstaff's doing over there in Detroit. So give me the Knicks in 6, but I also think this is a game that I think the Pistons might win game 1. I'll tell you my bets coming up on who wins these Saturday games and these Sunday games. I think the Pistons could win game 1. They're also 7-point dogs, which I think is crazy. But I'll take Knicks in 6. And then lastly, I'm going to make a decision here right now on this Pacers-Bucks as I talk it through, because I think that everything points Pacers to me. I think that they're a better team. They're better coached. People who know me know that I'm not a huge fan of Doc Rivers. They're a better team. They're better coached. They're more healthy. But it's Giannis, man. It's Giannis. It's the Bucks. A lot of them have been there. There's no Chris Middleton. They don't play defense like they did before. There's no Drew Holiday. Actually, the more I say it out loud, I know that it's Giannis, and it makes it but Giannis is going to have one of those crazy, crazy playoff runs, like some of the craziest ones we've seen, like the 2018 LeBron James type run. And I don't think he's that caliber of player, even though he is phenomenal. And the more I say it, I am going to go Pacers, just as I say it. Tyrese Halliburton, since the All-Star break, after he really started off slow, he really did kick it up a couple of gears. Pascal Siakam's won a championship. And I think the Pacers played hard last year. Even they were a force to be reckoned with last year. I'll go with the Pacers over the Bucks. I couldn't tell you how many games. I'm gonna say 7. I don't know when Dame is coming back. I think he's out game 1 though. I'm gonna say 7. I think that the games that Dame misses are gonna be kind of the deciding factor. It'll be we're here. Bucks are down 3-2. They win, but they lost games 1 and 2 because Dame didn't play, right? And then it'll come down to anything can happen game 7. I think I'm just going to go with the Pacers, especially if they can make shots. I don't really know if they're a great shooting team, but again, I think the Bucks are so Giannis dependent at this point that I'm going to take the Pacers in 7. So let me recap the East. I got the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 over the Heat. I got the Boston Celtics in 5 over the Magic, even though I really do like the Magic. I got the New York Knicks in 6 over the Pistons, even though I also really love the Pistons. And I got the Pacers over the Bucks in 7. I think that if the Pistons were playing the Pacers, I might actually pick the Pistons. I think if the Magic were playing the Pacers, I probably wouldn't pick the Magic. Fully healthy Magic playing the Pacers, I might pick the Magic. I don't think I love the Pacers that much. I just do like them better than the Bucks. So that's what I've got for my playoff stuff, recapping in total. Like I said, Just told you the East. Thunder in 5 over the Grizzlies. Warriors in 6 over the Rockets. Lakers in 6 over the Wolves. Nuggets, Clippers. I got Clippers in 7. Let's go talk about gambling.